folks, Serge from Red Island Games, and today we're going to have a look at the Solitaire variant to the Wizard's Path, also known as the Hermit's Journey. The Hermit's Journey plays very similarly to a two-player advanced game with all the elemental abilities. Couple of slight variations to the game. You're still trying to build your path from ace to 10 and put it in sequence. And the total amount of power that you're trying to aim for is above 35. And you have to do this before your deck actually runs out. So let's have a look and see how it's played. So today I'll be playing the Water Wizard, so I've already set up the focus scroll cards and placed a card in each individual position. Got my Water Wizard reference card out with the 4 water key crystal tokens. And so also every time I draw a fire card, I'll have to put it in the rival card area, and it's going to be used against me. And every time I play a water card down, it costs me 1 discard to put in my path. If I have a fire or an earth card that I want to put in my path, it's going to cost me 2 discards each. Water's special ability is going to be that if I have a pip card in my path and a matching pip card in my hand, I can swap the matching pip card from my hand with the matching pip card in the path. A little bit more later while we play the game. So we'll start off with build path phase. In the build path phase, I have to draw 4 cards from the focus scroll. So let's start with this 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so as I draw the cards, I have to replace the cards with the tokens. 3 and 4. Next, I'm going to start building my path. So I'm going to have the Ace of Water. It only costs me 1 discard. So let's discard the King. And the next card I want, I'll play the 7. I'll discard B3. But using my water ability, I have a matching air pip card. So I can take an action to swap out the air card for the water card. And I will say that is it for building my path. Let's say if I wanted to, I could use the key token in order to move a card from my path up to 2 spaces. But everything's in sequence already, so I won't bother. I'll just return the token. Same thing with move a card up to 2 spaces towards the beginning of the path, or move a card in your path up to 2 spaces towards the end of the path. So far my path is in sequence, so I'll just take my tokens back. And I will declare the end of my build path phase. So at the end of the build path phase, what we do is we reset the focus scroll. So in the Solitaire variant, what we do is we first take the cards that are in the 1 position and 2 position and place them in the next available slots of the focus scroll. And then we fill in the rest in sequence. The other thing is that if there was any remaining Majum cards, we would have to discard them as well. Okay, so now we go to the Wizard's Ways. During the Wizard's Ways phase, I can either bring out court cards, or I can play Majum cards if I have enough power in my path. Right now, as the Water Wizard, my path strength is equal to 1 for the water card and 2 for each allied card. So in this case, 1, 2 for my air cards for a total of 3 path. So if I have a Majum that has 3 or less activation cost, I could place it in play. But at this point, I don't have that in my hand. I do, however, have the Page of Earth. Now, the Page of Earth costs me 1 Earth card in order to put in my Allied Court card. So I will place the page. I will discard an Earth card as its cost. It's worth 1 victory point, and I can use its ability later on in the game. At this point, that's all I want to do. So we will go to the meditation phase, since I've got no other cards to play. In the Solitaire variant, there is no attack or no magic challenge phase, since I don't have any opponents. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build my path in sequence before I run out of cards. So at this point, we will go to the meditation phase. During the meditation phase, the first thing we do is I have to take the card in direction, and I may change it with any card that's in the focus scroll. So for example, I don't want to have the fire card next turn. So actually, because it's going to be discarded there too, I'm going to swap the water for the air card. And after I've used the direction, then I go to external influences. So whichever card is in external influence, I have to discard. And once the card is discarded, then I draw back up to my max hand size. For water at this point, it is up to 4. Okay, so that's actually kind of cool. And then we go back to the build path phase. So start off the build path phase, we draw 4 cards. Let's draw the lesson. I do want the extra power. I will draw the knight, and I will draw so now I'll just place the tokens to show what cards. Oops. Next, I can start building on my path. So I'll use the knight card, pay for the 2. It only costs me 1 because it's the water card. However, with my water ability, I have a matching air card. So what I can do is I'll swap out the 2 of air, swap out the 2 of water for the 2 of air. Next is what I will do. I don't need the 2 and I don't need the 7. So I'll discard 2 cards to pay for the 4 of air. And as far as placing cards in my path, I think that's all I want to do at this point. So next I will take the token back in lesson, and that allows me to draw an extra card from the top of the deck. Now we'll notice that the 2 is kind of out of sync, and so is the 4, and so is the 7. I can fix that by moving the 7 up to 2 spaces at the end of my path. So what lies beneath allows me to do, what lies beneath doesn't allow me to do that. Hopes and fears move a card in your path up to 2 spaces. So that's 1, 2. So it starts to put my cards in balance for the moment. So I'll take the token back to show that I use that ability. Now there's no ability for direction. We see the ability to swap out the different card. And since the path is already in sequence, I don't need to use this ability. One thing to keep in mind is that the abilities are optional. You don't have to do them if you remove your token off the card, off the position. So that's all set up. I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the focus scroll so that I can move on to the Wizard's Ways phase. So I will first discard my jump cards that are already in there. I will then place the 1 card and the 2 card in the next available positions, and then fill in the spots accordingly. Okay. All right, so next, Wizard's Ways phase. I do have a Majum that only costs me, or my path only has to be 1 strength in order to bring him out. My path strength is 2, 4, 6, 7. So that's kind of cool. In order to bring it out, I'm showed that I do have the power level for it. Place it face down and place a token on top of it. It will be refreshed at the end of the turn. I could, if I wanted to, or had access to, bring out a court card, just like I did with this, but at this point, I don't have 17 power in my path. I can't bring it out. So at this point, I will still early in the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that's the end of the Wizard's Ways phase. And then I'm just going to return all tokens back to my available pool, reveal any face down cards. Then I can choose whether or not I want to swap the position of the card that's in direction. I don't like fire cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Knight of Fire that's in the cross, and I'll just swap that out with that. And in doing so, I now take what's in external influences, discard it, and then I draw back up to my initial hand size, 4 cards. Sweet. And then we start back with the build path. So right now I'm missing a 2, 3, 5, 8, 6, 8, 9, 10. Right. I like the 5. I'm getting close to the 11. So that's worth 3 victory points at the end. So let's have a look at that. Do I have any Earth cards? I don't have any Earth cards, so the Queen of Earth at this point is kind of moot. Well, let's just go over the lesson then. Lesson is actually cheaper, so. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3. I still have to discard. I still have to draw a 4th card. So in the solitaire game, the 4 cards are mandatory. So you do have to draw 4 cards. And so I will draw. Might as well. And then place my last token. And let's start building on my path. Okay, I don't have any water cards, so nothing is cheap at this point. I could place the 5, discard 2 cards. I don't need the king water. And let's say the 11. So 5 is out of sequence, but just using one of the positions, it'll make it easier. I will take the lesson token back, draw the card, and it's a fire card. Now this is totally not cool, but it gives me the opportunity to explain how rival cards works. Okay, I don't want to build any other cards in my path, so that's fine. So what I will do is I will move a card up to 2 spaces in my path. So I'll just bring the 5 down and it puts it in sequence. I'll return the other 2 tokens since I don't really require any manipulation. The path is in sequence at this time. So then I will proceed to resetting the focus scroll. So discard first any remaining Majum. Take the cards in the 1 position and 2 position. Place them in the next positions in the focus scroll and then fill in all the empty spaces. Okay. All right, so now currently my path power is at 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. However, I do have 1 fire card or rival card. So I subtract 1 from my path, which means I have 8 path total at this time. So, all right. So the first thing I'm going to do in my Wizard's Ways phase is I am actually going to channel my Artificer. Now, by channeling, I take a token from my available pool, put it on the Artificer, and that gives me 2 more path strength until end of turn. So right now I have 10. So I will now be able to play Cycles. It's worth 3 victory points, and it costs me a path level of 10, so that's good. I can place that down. If I wanted to, I could have used one of my tokens and placed it on the rival card area, and that would have negated the negatives. Just something to let people know that I did have that option. So, I still have the Queen that I can play, but I don't have any air cards. I don't have any earth cards at this point. So, however, I could play another. It's only a 2. I can play the Muse. It's only a 2. So let's actually do that. I have the tokens for it, and I have the path power for it. Okay. So I still don't have quite 17, so that's not too much of a hassle at this point. So first, that will be the end of my Wizard's Ways phase. First thing we do during the meditation phase is I return any tokens. I then have to discard any of the Majum cards I channeled. And not only do I have to discard the Majum card, I also have to discard from the top of my deck the amount of power generated. So, oh, nice. Then I reveal face down cards. Okay. I then have to discard any cards that are in my rival card area. And for each card I discard from my rival card area, I also have to discard 1 card from the top of the draw deck. Next, I don't want to move the direction card, so I'll leave it there. Actually, no, I do want to move that. What I do is I will swap the card in direction with the card in external influence. And then I have to discard the card in external influences. And then once that's done, I get to draw back up to, or I can, if I want, I can discard cards from my hand and then draw back up to my initial 4. Because it's a deck depletion, we don't necessarily want to do that, but just to let you know, it is an option. So I draw back up to 4, and it's another fire card. Okay. So, 5, 7, I'm still missing 3, 6, 8, 9, 10. I got a 6 up there, I got an 8 there. 4 Earth card. It's kind of cool. The 9 is actually beneficial. Okay, so I'll tell you what, let's yeah, let's take the 9. Keep that there. Take the 4, take the 6, and take see, my concern right now is every time I don't take a jump card, I always have to discard it when I'm resetting the focus scroll. That's annoying. That really is annoying. However, I already have enough twos, but I want to start building up more power. So I'm going to be looking for higher jump cards. Okay, so let's take the 8. There we go. Yeah, that works. Okay. So then take the tokens, show which abilities that I can use from the focus scroll. Now, I'm going to play the 9. It only costs me 1 discard. And I don't want to do this, but at this point, it's a choice. I then, because of my water ability, I can swap out the 9 for the 9 of air. That gives me an extra discard. Excuse me. And then, no, I think I'm going to keep that as is. There is a couple of things I'm going to be doing. Okay, so move a card up to 2 spaces. So I'll move the, oh, I won't move anything. That's actually in perfect sequence. So I don't need to move any of my cards. I'll just take my tokens back. And let's just reset the focus scroll at that point. So first, discard any of the jump cards still there. I then take first card, second card, and fill it back up. So 1, 2. Okay. I've been really lucky. I haven't been getting many fire cards. All right. Now, I already have the 4. Okay, so what I want to do, I don't have any reason to build my power up at this point. That's going to be interesting, and that's kind of helpful as well. But I do want to have the Queen of Earth. So the Queen of Earth costs me 2 Earth cards. So I'll just bring out the Queen. I lose one of the 6 or the 8. The 4 I already have, so I'm not too worried about that. So 2 Earth cards, and she's worth 2 victory points. And her ability is that all my Earth cards that I put, all my Earth pips that I put in the path now only has a max cost of 1 discard. So when I play next turn, when I play the 6, it'll only cost me 1 discard instead of the normal 2. And that's it. I don't have anything to channel. I could boost or negate the negative cards, but no point at this time. So I will just jump into the meditation phase. So reveal any face down cards, put your tokens back into your available pool, discard any rival cards. For every card from your rival card that you discard the top of the draw deck. Now, I am going to swap out direction, the card in direction, and then I'm going to discard external influences, and then draw back up to my 4. Ooh, nice. Not so nice. Okay. So at this point, my path is now 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, potentially 16, minus 1, 15, but I can just cancel that if need be. So not quite powerful enough to get the sun out, but I may want to draw the sun cards just to have it in my hand. I'm missing the 3, the 6, the 8, and the 10. I already have the 6. There's the 8, so I'll draw the 8. I'll draw the sun. I will... I could draw the queen and swap out my 2. And let's just take a chance to draw an extra card. Besides, you need the 10 anyways. So. Okay, so place tokens on focus scroll positions. Show that I have access to those powers. Actually, I am going to swap out my 2. So I take the 2 of air and replace it with the 2 of earth. Doesn't change my path power, but it gives me the option of paying for the extra card for the queen. I don't need the 9, so I'll place the 10 down. And I'll pay the 9. So it's 10 of water, 1 card. I do want... Ooh. Take a chance. Taking a huge chance. Okay. Sure, let's do it. I am going to discard the 2, even though that kind of was what I wanted to use too. So discard the 2 and put down the 6. Now the 6 only costs me 1 because the queen allows me to place a card, a pip card, for a lower card, at least the Queen of Earth. So if it was a Queen of Air, then I would have had to have discarded, then I would have been able to play the 6 of Air for only 1 discard. But at this point, all right. So let's take a chance, see what lesson. Yes. Okay, that actually makes things interesting. Okay. I will. Now see, the 6 is 1, 2, so it's 3 cards away. But that's kind of cool because I can move a card up to my 2 spaces towards the beginning of the path and move a card up to 2 spaces. So that's a total of 4, so I can actually just bring it up to 3, and that's fine. Putting that in sequence. Okay, I don't need to worry about that. And that will be it for my build path phase. So discard any Mahjong cards, take the first and second card, place them in the next available positions, and then fill in missing cards. And then Wizard's Ways. Well, I can either buy the page for 1 air card or the queen for 2 air cards. Queen gives me a cool ability, and it does cost me 2. But I kind of need my 8 in order to fill in the path. I mean, I could take a chance in looking for the 8 of Earth, or use a court card to fill it in. But I don't want to do that right now. So you know what? Let's just go with that. I'll take my queen. Pays for 1 for the page of air. So it's worth 1 victory point, as well as I can move an air card in my path, anywhere in my path, by discarding it from my allied court area. All right, so right now my path power is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Minus 1 is 13. However, if I channel both, that gives me the 19. So it's 5 for 5, but it frees up my space. Keep in mind that we can only have up to 4 cards in the Majum area. So that actually may help. You know what? Let's do it. First, I'll use an action to nullify the negative cards. I will use my action tokens in order to channel, which will give me 5. And now my path is now at 19. So just enough for that. And I've got the 1 token left in order to bring it out. And that is it for my Wizard's Ways. So first, return any available tokens. Then I have to discard the Majum that I channeled and the top 5 cards. This could be tricky. 1, there's a 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I then discard anything in my rival card area and discard. That would have been nice. Reveal my face down card. And now I want to swap what's in direction with external influences. And then discard the card from external influences. And draw back up to my max hand size. So draw 3 more cards. 1, there's a 10, there's a 6, and there's a fire card. Not fun. Okay. So right now, my path is missing the 3 and the 8. And I'm starting to get low on cards too. Okay. I don't. 5. I see I could have. You know what? Let's do it. Let's start to build a little bit more. I definitely have 3 path power, so that's an easy 2 victory points right there. I can pick up the 5, pick up the king, and pick up the knight. So that actually gives me 1, 2, 3 earth cards for me to bring out my king. Sweet. Okay. Now the question is, do I have anything? Yes. My 8 costs me 2 cards. But I really do need the 2 cards. Well, let's take a chance. So I get rid of 1. And let's get rid of the Empress. It would have been an extra 2, but it's better than. Okay. So now, taking back my tokens, and I'll activate Hopes and Fears allows me to move the 8 down up to 2 spaces. So I'm now just missing the 3. Yeah, so I don't need to move the card up to 2 spaces, or to the front or to the back, so that's good. And let's just reset the focus scroll. So I don't have any Mahjong cards, so I just take the cards in the 1 and 2 position, replace it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sweet. Shattering was good. Okay. And now I have the King of Earth. Gives me 3 victory points, but costs me 3 discards. So 3 Earth cards discarded. And I could channel, but that's pointless. I don't have any other cards to bring out. Alright, so what I will do is I'll just jump into the meditation phase. So first, revealing the face down cards, cool. Discard any rival cards and discard the top card for each one. I do have to swap out. I will have to discard the card in external influences, but I want to keep that card, so I don't have a choice. I have to swap out Shattering for the Knight, and then external influences is discarded. And now I drop back up to my initial hand size, which is 4. Now, we're really getting close to the end of the game, so let's just have a quick tally what's missing. I am missing the 3, and it has to be in sequence. That's the first thing. Second thing, path power. My total power and victory points right now, as it stands, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, plus 5 is 21, plus 3 is 24, plus 2 is 26, plus 1 is 27, plus 1 is 28. I need a total of 35 victory points and a balanced path in order to win the Solitaire variant. So I will have to keep that in mind. Okay, so I do have enough power to bring out some powerful Mahjong cards, so that's kind of cool. So, but I am missing the 3, and that's really going to hurt me. So I will need to find a court card and bring the court card down. So unfortunately, I don't have much of a choice. I do have to draw the red card, the fire card, and for its ability. I will then need to be able to put the 3 in its position. So I will have to put it at the beginning of the path and then move up 2 spaces. So that's going to be either Hopes and Fears, and that's it. Let's draw the 16 to gain the extra power, and there's my 4 draws. Now, this is the big thing. If it's a 3 or a court card, I can have the balanced game and bring out the power. It is not. Okay, so, well, let's play it out. Okay. Oh, I do have a 3. Sweet. I have a 3 of earth. 3 of water. Let's discard that. It only costs me 1 card. And I've got a complete path, but I just got to put it in balance. So the first thing, well, that was, I drew the card. That didn't help. I will move a card in my path to the beginning. So put the 3 at the very beginning. And then use up to two, move a card up to 2 spaces. So up to 2 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have a balanced completed path. And that is it for that. I don't want to do anything else. Return my tokens. Reset the focus scroll. So 1, 2. Okay. So this is not, it's not good, but it's not bad. Okay, so as you will notice that the game will end this turn during the meditation phase, and I will have to tally up my power. The only thing is that I'm going to get some negative points for the missing cards. So let's see, I have a total of, I can bring out a total of 3 cards, which is what I'm looking for. How high can I go? So let's first cancel the negative. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I can play 17. So, yes, perfect. So, 12, 16, and 15. Okay, that is the maximum I can do. So let's tally everything up. Jump right into the meditation phase. First, take back my tokens, discard anything in my rival card. Now, because I didn't have any cards I could discard from there, I will also remove one from the focus scroll. And reveal, I've got these points. Okay. So now we tally up how much power, influence, and path power, influence, and path strength. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 plus 4 is 21, 25, 30, 33, 35, 36, 37. However, I have to subtract 1, 2, 3, 4. 37 minus 4 is 33. I need a total path strength or total power point at the end of 35. Just missed it by 2 victory points. So that's the Wizard's Path Solitaire variant. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.